Coming at you live from 110 Studio in beautiful South Pasadena, California. This is the Blue Heaven Podcast. Happy New Year, gang. Thanks for joining us. My name is Clint. You can find me as Real FRG on the Twitter and the Instagram. That gentleman right there is the legendary DMac_LA. Also on Twitter and Instagram. We are Dodgers Nation on Twitter and Instagram. Doug, Happy New Year, my friend. How are you doing? Are you ready for some sports ball?
I'm doing great. 2023 is the year of the Dodger, and I'm hopefully we can put everything together, make some nice trades, make some signings, and really get this team where it needs to be heading into this season. But I'm feeling good. I think new year, new us. I think it's going to be a big year.
Can be bigly, quite bigly. Guys, drop your area codes in the chat. Let us know where you're representing Dodgers Nation tonight here on January 2nd, first show of the year. It feels like it's been a whole long while since we've been doing this, so we'll see if we remember how to do it. But on today's show, new year, new us, and we got to talk a little bit about that Trevor Bauer situation this week. We will learn whether or not the Dodgers choose to release the embattled pitcher or activate him and see what they have to say about that. MLB news, got to look a little bit what's going on around the league. Dodgers New Year's resolutions. We're going to come up with some stuff. Doug has a whole bunch of things. We got the guys in the studio. They're going to talk a little bit about it as well. And a whole lot more. Before we get into the show, I got to remind you this is a podcast. We are on iTunes, Spotify, everywhere your podcasts are available. We are there. Go subscribe. Leave a review if you can. Leave a 5-star rating if you could do that. It'd mean a whole lot to us. But let us get into some comments. What do you got on the screen there, Douglas?
Got a lot of area codes. We got John from the 914. We got Luis from Camarillo. We got Time and Again over on YouTube says Go Blue in Chico, NorCal. We've got Sarah from the 307. We got Alicia from YouTube says, let's go Dodgers. So everyone's excited. We got Beverly Hills in the house. Rich kids.
Oh, that's where I want to be. Living in Beverly Hills.
Shout out to Weezer. We got Anthony Keene, our boy. Happy New Year, Anthony Keene, holding down the 310 up here in the San Francisco Bay. So, yeah, you guys, let's talk some Dodger baseball. Everyone's dropping the zip codes, area codes there, actually. We got Sean Les Godoyers mixed on Bauer, 206 Seattle. So, yeah, I think that is the consensus right now. A lot of fans are mixed when it comes to Trevor Bauer. Should the Dodgers reinstate him to that 40-man roster? Should they release him? He's going to be very expensive no matter what. They're going to owe him $22.5 million regardless, so I'm sure we're going to get into that in a few seconds here. We got a lot of people from the 909 repping. We got I got Jams from Palm Springs. We got Victor. Bauer needs to be a Dodger, period. Yeah, this might be one of the most polarizing topics in Dodgerland in the last 10, 15 years. A lot of strong opinions about Trevor Bauer, whether or not the Dodgers should bring him back. A lot of people want to see him back on the bump for LA. Some fans think they should turn the page. But hey, the good news is we're going to figure that out this week because January 6th is the deadline the Dodgers have to make a decision. Maybe it comes sooner than that. We talked to Bill Shaken on Friday, like I said.
Great stuff with Bill.
It was so hard for me not to say what Shaken Bill when that interview started, but I stayed professional, right, Noah? And he just to have a guy who's been covering that story so closely from wire to wire to say there is a chance based on the fact that they hadn't made that move yet was very interesting. But I'm very interested to get some of your takes on Trevor Bauer in a little bit, Clint.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be as smart as I can about it because either way, people are coming at you with pitchforks. And it's a tough situation to talk about. So I'm not going to give any hot takes here because this is live, but there is something positive in the stream. Mark Geller says 45 days or so until pitchers and catchers report. So it's almost a real new year because that's when life begins again. Spring and all that, the hope springs eternal when pitchers and catchers report. It's my favorite holiday, February 14th, pitchers and catchers report.
That's the day. That's how I base my years too. I mean, it starts pitchers and catchers report, the excitement. Hopefully this team will look just a little different before that date starts. I'm hoping for a couple more moves, even if it's just on the margins there. But yeah, I mean, just before we blink, we're going to be talking about Dodger baseball in action. And football season's coming to an end. Of course, you got the postseason, fantasy team loss. So I'm ready for some good Dodger news pretty soon.
How you recovering from coming in second place in your fantasy football league?
I came in second, but
I'm rigged league.
In that rigged Mickey, came in second, let a lot of fans down, but we had a good year and we got a nice core moving forward. But fantasy baseball is gonna be my focus take it into hopefully we start fantasy baseball league. But
he ain't got that kind of time. You guys are his fantasy, and this is baseball talk. So yeah, let's talk Trevor Bauer. You guys know the situation. Everything happened after our last stream. Doug has put out a number of great videos on our YouTube channel. Check it out if you haven't seen any of them yet. Subscribe, hit the bell, leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts there. Be reasonable in the comments here, please. This is, what is the word I'm looking for? It's a triggering conversation, yeah, for a lot of people in a lot of ways, but really the important thing to emphasize in the early goings of this is to not downplay or downgrade or minimize any claims of sexual abuse, sexual assault, just to say that. So I don't want to see anybody in the comments saying that somebody's a gold digger or a home wrecker or lying or anything, because we don't know the full situation. And for people to say he's innocent, that's an inaccurate way of saying it, because somebody, they couldn't find enough evidence to charge an individual with something. Innocent would infer that, yeah, you went to trial, you're innocent or guilty. Here, there was not enough evidence because of whatever people found in their investigation. But anyways, I don't want to dig into too much of that. I just want to point out, be smarter with your choice of words in talking about something like this, because the important thing is, like, yeah, maybe in this situation, maybe there is foul play, maybe there's something like that. But to say, to just come right out and say, like, oh, somebody was trying to, be a gold digger or whatever, it delegitimizes, legitimate claims. And again, it's a nuance, it's an ugly situation. That's why we avoid it like the plague it is on this network. It's not fun to talk about because people just aren't fair. They aren't realistic when you're talking about this thing. It's every hot take you can get as soon as you can possibly get it out there. And people are going to have their opinions formulated, and they're not going to change until maybe we hear from sides, hear from the Dodgers in this case, hear from Bauer in this particular case or whatever. But we also can't hear about that because, let's be real. Trevor Bauer's not going to talk about it. He's not going to say what happened, because you could potentially incriminate yourself in anything you say. You might say one wrong word. Of course, he's a guy that is relatively, he thinks about what he's going to say before he says it a lot of the times. You would at least hope in this case. But anyways, I don't know if any of that had any meaning. But yeah, the Dodgers have a decision to make by Friday, January 6th, funny enough. Are they going to cut this guy, or are they going to let him pitch? I know you've seen the comments. We've seen the results of polls. It seems like a lot of fans would like to see Trevor Bauer pitching for this team. And you like you were saying, like, you're paying the dude either way, sort of thing. Let him pitch. But I don't know. I guess I'm going to throw to you and let you face the music, face the gunfire here.
Yeah, I think
what are the takes, man?
I agree with your sentiment on pretty much everything you said. You can go so many different angles with this Trevor Bauer story and try to speculate on certain things that we just don't know the facts or the realities. So the way I like to discuss anything involving the Trevor Bauer situation is, how will the front office handle this? I try to put on my front office glasses and say, how will they deal with the facts that they've been provided? And that's where it really will start. And the reality is, when Major League Baseball made their ruling and the arbitrator made their ruling, well, they're not going to get that information. The Dodgers aren't going to be privy to all the information that MLB had in their investigation. And the bottom line is, even though that suspension was reduced, it was reduced to 194 games, and it's still the longest suspension under the sexual assault and abuse policy that's been around for 7 years. Now, will he be back? Well, right now, all signs point to no. And I think you can look at the fact that this organization, even shortly thereafter, they really distanced themselves from Trevor Bauer pretty much immediately. Then back in 2021, when Mike DiGiovanna did that story where he said that the Dodgers don't want him back under any circumstances, and then John Heyman said that they didn't want Trevor Bauer back. But I think the way you look at it is, look, they're going to owe money no matter what.
Yeah.
And is there a way you could possibly get some financial relief by reinstating him, then trying to trade him and maybe attach some prospects, get something in return? I think people just don't like the idea when you look at the cost cutting this offseason. When you look at the fact that the Dodgers haven't been going across that $233 million threshold. I was talking about in the video of the Christmas vacation. He doesn't, Clark Griswold didn't get that bonus check to bring in that new pull. But I think the Dodgers, they're looking at this and they're saying, hey, this is a PR situation where you're going to have to answer some very difficult questions. And you look at the type of pitcher that he is. Trevor Bauer hasn't pitched for will be almost 2 years. Yep. And yes, he doesn't have the sticky stuff, the spider tack where he unlocked the code. But still, I think Trevor Bauer could be a very effective pitcher. I mean, he was struggling with giving up home runs, but I still think the Dodgers, they could use a guy that could eat innings and be effective. But I think at this point, when you look at this organization, you look at 2016 with Aroldis Chapman. At the winter meetings, they struck a deal for Chapman. And then when it came out that when he had those domestic violence issues and he was ultimately traded to the Yankees and then suspended, Dodgers pulled out of that deal. But for people that bring that up, Julio Urias, he was suspended. He did his time. The Dodgers reinstated him. But the thing about Trevor Bauer is, look, at the end of the day, the Dodgers will have paid almost $65 million to a pitcher to pitch 17 games. Yeah. It's almost $4 million a start. And this is a organization that makes a lot of money. If you look at the revenue, you talk about, $50 micheladas, $100 parking, and $2,000 Dodger dogs. Look, I think that the fans shouldn't be punished for their decision one way or the other on Trevor Bauer. If they made a mistake in signing him where they weren't able to get the value from him, well, look, that signing took place before the 2021 season, right? So they knew that he's probably going to opt out before then if he had success on the mound and try to get himself a new deal. But there are some ways to look at it. I mean, if they bring Trevor Bauer back, he's going to be on his best behavior. He's going to try to get another deal. But like I said, I think that's just too hard of a pill too big of a pill for the Dodgers to swallow. And just knowing on how buttoned up this organization is and how much they want to avoid controversy like that. And just look at the personnel on this team. It's like a bunch of choir boards. You got Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts.
I mean, it's also like we've been talking about this offseason. It's going to be a very different looking team. The man is out of there with Justin Turner, now a Red Sox.
Yeah.
It's a different looking clubhouse, and the veterans that have been around. There's like 3-4 people left from the 2017 team, or somewhere in that pocket. I forget because I don't remember all of them on the roster right now. But it's a different feeling clubhouse. It's a different look. It's a team that got hit in the teeth last October that could be willing and open to anything to kind of right the ship, as it were, and not lose in October. But like you're saying, there's a PR nightmare either way is the understatement of the year for this this situation, because if they do choose, if the team does choose to reinstate him to the 40-man roster, they're saying, hey, this guy's going to be one of our guys who goes out there every fifth day and throws the baseball. You got to have a really good reason why to a very vocal and large group of fans why you're choosing to do this. What makes you feel like this is the right guy? You are the Dodgers. You're supposed to exemplify, I don't know, something to people. You're not supposed to be a team that goes out and gets the Aroldis Chapmans. Very different situations. But if you have the opportunity, you would. In theory here would cut somebody that has this much baggage attached to them. But then, I don't know. There's so many ways to go with it, because I want to talk about both sides with that. But then, if they do cut him, let's be real. This pitcher's and his people, they love litigation. They're going to sue the Dodgers. I feel very strongly they will find a way to sue the Dodgers, sue baseball for, lost wages and whatever, and they're going to cite, because, they have steadfast said, they did nothing wrong. They also kind of admitted to some things that happened. I'm going to be very general and not specific about anything I'm saying. You want any more, go read our content, DodgersNation.com. or any of the other spots. But I don't know. This is always hard because I feel like I have to bite my tongue so much on this.
Well, I think there's just a big misconception out there. I think one thing that no one should ever put in the comments is he was found innocent, or he was found innocent, because this legally it had nothing to do with Major League Baseball's investigation. You had 3 accusers there. They conducted their own investigation. They're a private entity. Major League Baseball can do whatever they want when it comes to their standards and their policies. So the fact that he wasn't charged means nothing as far as whether or not that he returns to the Dodgers. But to me, I think big picture, what I think people are missing out in all this is they're so close to that $233 million CBT that with the incentives and escalators to Noah Syndergaard, congratulations to Noah for getting your guy. Some of these arbitration projections that could be all over the place. I think this organization, when you look at this rotation as it stands right now, they knew that they needed another guy even before the 2021 season when you had a healthy Dustin May and a Walker Buehler and a Julio Urias. So I think this organization knows it needs one more frontline starter. And I think they realize that, hey, we are going to pay Bauer. We're going to eat that money to make him go away. And we're also going to be active on the trade market. I think that this organization, from an optics standpoint, they're going to realize how important that is. Because if you look at this rotation right now, Julio Urias, Clayton Kershaw, you have Dustin May, you have Tony Gonsolin, you have Syndergaard right there in the middle. That's Brooks. 5 guys. And then you have all the young guys you're trying to bring in with Pepio, with Gavin Stone, with Bobby Miller, and then Grove and Andre Jackson that can go and help you, give you some innings. That I think that, to me, when it comes to this Bauer situation, I think this organization is still going to be very invested in next year's team. And I think they realize that, hey, we're going to eat that money, because if we bring Trevor Bauer back into the fold, one, we just don't know the kind of pitcher we're going to get. Is he worth that kind of headache if you consider it that? And I do think also this team is, to an extent, considering what the current roster thinks, what Dave Roberts and the clubhouse culture that he's developed for so many years. Does bring back Trevor Bauer and the distraction of that throw a wrench into that?
That's a distraction that will follow you to every baseball stadium you go. Yeah, that's how fandom works. That's how, the social media era, especially, these people following along the whole way, other fan bases, wanting to really go see these games so they can either share their support or rain down hailfire of boos. It's going to follow them every single city they stop.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, the way I look at this stuff, I want the Dodgers to win the World Series. I want to win in baseball games, right? The way I look at it is this. Who's that? Well, hi, guys. No, so the way that I like, and the thing is, if you bring Trevor Bauer back, does that make the Dodgers less likely to pull off a trade for Corbin Burns or pull off a trade for another starting pitcher during the season? I would say the answer to that is yes, because he's back in your rotation. You're already in a position where you're probably going to have to flirt with some sort of 6-man rotation at some point. I think you kind of bake into the year the fact that Clayton Kershaw will have a little over 20 starts. Tony Gonsolin's dealt with injuries. Dustin May dealt with that back injury at the end of last season. So I think this team, they know what they need. I think they realize that they are just a few pieces away from being up there with the Mets and the Padres and some of these paper champions right now. And I just think the Bauer situation is fascinating. But the way I try to look at it and tell fans, look, I can give you my opinion on what I think about if they should or they shouldn't. But at the end of the day, that's irrelevant towards what the Dodgers do. I try to look at the Dodgers patterns through the years, and it just would be a shocker to me to see the Dodgers bring him back based on all the information that has been out there. John Heyman's report about the Dodgers not wanting him back as a team. You saw some information too. I think what it came down to is they're a little blindsided by the timing of it, heading right into it.
I've been telling people about it. Like, I imagine, this happened late on Thursday. It's a couple days before Christmas. People, they set their out of office reminders on email. They close down their laptop. All right, guys, see you next year. And then they get the message, they will be independent arbitrator, blah, blah, blah. And they're like,
They're like, that sounds like a 2023 problem. I'll get back to you. I
self-muted myself. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Cody.
And
he's a pro on the board.
My question to you, just kind of get into it, like, what do you think? How do you think the market will be for Trevor Bauer? Do you think there'll be a lot of teams lining up to try to sign for that league minimum, because he could provide some of the best value out there on the market? A $720,000 Trevor Bauer, who's not going to be 2020 Cy Young 3,000 RPM spin rate Bauer, but if you can get a 2018 serviceable middle of your rotation Bauer, I mean, that can help a lot of teams.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a 20. He's definitely not going to be a $25-30 million pitcher for a while. But I do wonder, like, whatever the Dodgers are going to need to say something, whatever decision they make. Why are you cutting Bauer? He served his time. There were no charges filed. The restraining order was not did not go through, the full restraining order. However they say that. I'm not a lawyer. # not a lawyer. All of these things point to he did his time. He should be allowed to play the game again. Why are you guys not allowing him to do that? And you almost wonder about the owners fraternity too, and the influence of the league. It's like, hey, is he going to get blacklisted silently? Is he going to get Barry Bonds where, if you sign him, you're going to have to face the wrath of Rob Manfred, because we know Rob Manfred does not like Mr. Trevor Bauer and his camp.
I mean, I think that angle, you can't deny it.
Yeah.
I really do. But I do also think
there are also going to be teams that are out there.
Yeah,
like,
AJ Preller's the guy with the yellow suit behind the tree. With his hands like that.
I just think of the headlines.
Looking for him
of Dodgers release right-handed pitcher Trevor Bauer. Padres sign right-handed pitcher Trevor Bauer to major league minimum, who's being paid by the Dodgers to go and beat them.
Yeah, no, I mean, can he help teams? There's no question about it. Can he still be effective? Was he a good pitcher before before he used sticky stuff in the spider tag? Yes, he was. But like I said, there's a lot of baggage that comes with Trevor Bauer, and every fifth day, it's an event. It's a show before and after his starts. And I just think that this Dodger team, they are adamant on trying to develop some of their young pitchers. You got guys, they signed Noah Syndergaard and Trevor Bauer, they've gotten some Twitter beefs in the last few years. That'd be very interesting. But I do think at the end of the day, Trevor Bauer, most likely, based on everything that we've seen, probably will be released. I think some people ask me, hey, Doug, why don't they just keep him and not pay him? But I mean, you don't want to do that. It's not worth it.
If he's active and he's eligible, you have to play a pitcher, or else the MLBPA is
You'll get a grievance. You'll get a grievance.
We got something.
Got a super chat. What's up,
Cody on
Dodgers
the board.
Nation? What's up, guys? Call me M4 says $5 super chat. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Who cares about what Twitter thinks? They're not the target audience. They don't watch baseball. The people who care want him back.
I don't agree with that take in the way it was worded. Appreciate the super chat. We'll engage on this. Twitter is a very, very engaged sporting platform. Pre and post Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Or pre and in Elon Musk era. The people who watch baseball really watch baseball, and to I guess combat what you're saying is the Twitter polling crowd we're seeing, majority want Trevor Bauer back on the team.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, most of the loud crowd is wanting him back.
I mean, every poll that you've seen, even whether it be our polls that have almost 15, 20,000 votes, over 60%, closer to 70% want to see Bauer back on the mound for the Dodgers. LA Times has over 50%. So the fans have spoken. They want to see Bauer back. But those fans that do not, I mean, you look at I'm not comparing his situation to Carlos Correa's situation, but if the Dodgers were looking at something similar and they were considering that 40% of the fan base that didn't want Carlos Correa, well, it doesn't necessarily mean that they think the majority is the factor in their decision. I think it's always complicated and nuanced with the Dodgers. They're considering every single angle of this.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, you look, I mean, everyone says, the Dodgers are going to get, are getting bid hard with this one. Look, this is not a guy they signed to a 6-year deal, right?
They bit themselves hard by signing it because they faced a whole bunch of scrutiny and backlash when it happened. And, in the Zoom introductory press conference, they faced some hard questions about it. They said they vetted this guy. I don't think they expected this situation to happen. Maybe just more, things based around social media and his people coming after people because he tweets X, Y, or Z or whatever. You can't plan for this. But the team's going to face a whole hell of a lot of backlash either way.
But look at there's so many deals in the past. We've seen the Dodgers eat bad money in the past. I mean, we've seen so many different examples of that. So this team has shown that, hey, we will pay guys to not even. I mean, look at just David Price. Even though he performed, I mean, they've had some bad contracts. Carl Crawford. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, there's Homer Bailey, for example. I mean, they've had some contracts where they're willing to pay the money.
What makes it tougher is the fact that they want to get under that 233, or at least that was the hope, that was the goal, and then they kind of figured, hey, or learned or realized that this is a likely reality that the suspension was going to be reduced. They just didn't know if it was going to be retroactive to last year, and they'd have to hand out back pay. Luckily, they're able to stay under that salary luxury tax threshold. Last year, they were not. My bad. They tried for a second, and then they did not. Anyways, words. I really hate talking about this thing.
Yeah,
I've always hated it.
Yeah,
I've always hated this, man, because I hear the idiot tweets at me about dumb things, and it just makes it frustrating. But one note I just wanted to throw in here, because I had it open from the official MLB statement. They said on Thursday, today, the neutral arbitrator selected by MLB and the MLBPA affirmed that Trevor Bauer violated Major League Baseball's joint domestic violence, sexual assault, and child abuse policy. So, by the letter of the policy, even the independent arbitrator said, we agree something happened that violated this policy. They just didn't agree with the length of the suspension. The length of the suspension happened because Bauer and his people were trying to fight it tooth and nail, saying we don't deserve any of this suspension. And MLB threw the book at them to make a statement, which they did, and now they look like idiots. So anyways, I just want to throw that in there. But there's a stake, and there's a payroll, and there's a super chat.
Another super chat. CMZ, another $5 super chat. Thank you guys for donating again. Really appreciate it. CMZ said, keep him.
All
keep
right.
who?
Keep who?
I don't know.
Keep Cody.
Keep
We're
Cody.
going to keep
Thanks,
Cody.
guys.
Yeah.
Cody gets to keep a job, baby.
I'm totally fine with fans out there that want to say keep Trevor Bauer. They want to see
Everybody's
the
entitled to their
Dodgers
opinion. What
put
I
together
want,
the best roster
what
to
you
compete.
want, what they want doesn't mean shit. It's what Stan Kasten, what Mark Walter want to deal with. It's what they think Dave Roberts can handle. It's what they think, and this is in a clubhouse without Justin Turner, who was his number one voice, Dave Roberts' number one voice in that clubhouse. And it's, what kind of questions does Magic want to answer as a partial owner of the team? You got to look at really all the ownership for sure. Billie Jean King's a part of the ownership group. Does she want to be associated with this kind of thing? There's so many other voices that actually matter in this.
Yeah.
None of yours matter in this and what you want. That's the way it goes. It's going to come down to poor Andrew Friedman having to, face the wrath of whatever the decision's ultimately going to be. But what is at stake? Either a full season of scrutiny or a couple weeks of it. Yeah, that's really what's at stake for the team. Either way, the money is dead money. Do you want to throw out a flyer on somebody who maybe can still pitch at the big league level? And we were talking a little bit before the show. It's like people get injured, come back from Tommy John a year and a half later, and they pitch and they're normal or better. We see the videos. We know Trevor Bauer is pitching. He's pitching to a not very good baseball hitter, not major league talent. So you don't know if he can still get out big league hitting, as it were. But the important thing is, though, your opinion does not matter. Thank you. Super chat.
Another super chat. Call me M4. Thank you again for another $5 super chat. He said, fair point. I'm going to say one thing. After the season that shall not be named, we need good players. He could help us immensely. Pros outweigh cons.
It's a fair opinion.
I think on the surface,
everybody's opinion is fair,
for sure.
To be honest.
Yeah, look, there's no question about it. Is he one of the top 30, 40 pitchers in Major League Baseball when he's healthy, when he's stretched out? There's no question about it. But it's the polarization of the opinions that people have towards him that it's not going to go away. If they reinstate him and he's continuing to pitch for the Dodgers, he's going to have to answer these questions all season long. It's going to feel like a little bit of a cloud. And I think this organization, like you said, mentioning the suspension itself and the fact that what the arbitrator ruled in it is that that's just not going to sit well with this Dodgers organization. I think at the end of the day, we can say whatever we want. We can talk it until we're Dodger blue in the face, but this organization is going to do what they want to do as far as an optic standpoint. I think that if you follow this organization for years now, it's pretty obvious and clear what they're going to do, because let's be honest here. This is an organization that for some people think they're the Los Angeles Pirates or the Tampa Bay Dodgers. No, this is the Los Angeles Dodgers. $22.1 million is a drop in the bucket. And I think, yes, they were probably looking at the possibility of staying under that CBT as a way that could benefit them. There's no question about it. That would help them with future signings. But when you're that close and you don't have a $8 to $10 million cushion or anything like that, unless you want to cut salary in some way, you're going to eclipse that. You're going to blow past that, and you're going to have to pay for the overages. And the Dodgers, knowing that, you can't waste the primes of Mookie and Freddie, possibly the last year of Clayton Kershaw and Julio Urias. This team is going to go out there and get another starting pitcher. At the end of the day, if it's another starting pitcher that's better than the current version of Trevor Bauer, if you're playing 3D chess, everyone's saying, yeah, he can come back and help this team. There's no question about it. But I think it's a little more complicated than that, because Trevor Bauer being back means less opportunities for Bobby Miller and Gavin Stone, Ryan Pepio, and then even Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin. Even though Gonsolin made the All-Star team last year, really hasn't truly solidified himself as a starting pitcher you can really count on from wire to wire. So I think that it definitely would throw a wrench into what they're trying to accomplish. But yeah, there's just so many different ways to look at it. Maybe he comes back, has success, and they wanted him back. There's no question about it. You can't deny his talent. But I'm just telling you, knowing this organization like I do, the Bauer baggage is too strong. I mean,
yeah.
I was saying, I mean, I'm not saying it was Bauer's remorse for signing him back in 2021, but this organization, they signed him to a 3-year deal. It wasn't a 5, 6, 7, or 8-year deal, so it did mitigate the risk to a certain extent.
Yeah, it was the right deal at the time, because you knew there was some risk. Didn't anticipate this kind of risk. You mentioned the idea of trying to still find a way to stay under the tax threshold. What kind of trade avenues? That's really the only way they can. It's through a trade. Who are some options? Just to briefly explain that, do you or kind of dive into it? Do you think there are any options to be traded that are like significant enough salary? I mean, you could think like CT3. Tony Gonsolin's going to be somebody who's going to get a decently sized pay bump this year as a Super 2. What do you think on all? Give me your thoughts on that real quick. Go ahead.
I think Chris Taylor is a guy who even though he had a bad year last year, if you look at hitters with a minimum of 450 plate appearances, he had the highest strikeout rate of any of them. He was Chris Taylor, like we were saying, but still a 93 WRC plus, meaning his bat was 7% below league average. I think he bounces back. I think this organization values him to a point where, look at that deal, 4 year, $60 million deal. I think that this is going to come down to the Dodgers looking at themselves and saying, we're going to start the year and we're going to see what we get from Miguel Vargas, what we get from Gavin Lux. Does Max Muncy and Chris Taylor have a bounce back year? Freddie Freeman. There's still tons of talent on this team. This starting lineup is still better than, I would say, 90% of the league. I mean, you've got Will Smith, who hasn't even truly emerged. You have Freddie Freeman. I mean,
I say I strongly disagree with your take on your tweet from the other day about that lineup being like a top. Man, you look at those names on paper, the bottom 4 in this lineup. Woof.
If they play up to their
trash lineup,
if they return to what they're capable of doing, and I just truly believe in the star power of that top 3. I still think that Will Smith has another gear.
Back to what Ron Say told you when he was sitting in this seat, when he's talking about you had the bottom of the lineup filled with 200 hitters,
JD Martinez
trying to win a World Series.
JD Martinez is a better hitter, right? I'd rather have JD Martinez on my team than Justin Turner. The middle of your lineup, a designated hitter.
We're talking about like a top 5. Solid top 5 in this lineup for sure. And JD Martinez, another big reason he was signed, crushed lefties last year.
But that's why, to me,
OPS,
you just asked me about trades.
Yeah.
To me, I think the price for Brian Reynolds is too high right now. But
too damn high.
It's too high at the moment. But I do think you look at some other outfielders out there that are a Max Kepler, a guy that can help this team possibly. I mean, we'll see what they can get from Trace Thompson and James Outman and guys like that. But I still think that I think really what it's going to come down to is this team is going to make a decision at some point during the season. Is it worth the prospect capital to go out there and get a guy? Because they saw what they did last year by sitting on their hands and not doing anything and relying on some of those injured players to return, that wasn't enough. And I also think, too, man, it's been too long for this organization to not make a big blockbuster deal. And I think that you want to keep those chips.
We're good for one a year, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, since the Scherzer, Trey Turner deal that really shook things up in the 2021 season. Last year, I mean, you get Chris Martin, you get Joey Gallo, and guys like that.
I kind of look at Freddie Freeman as a blockbuster deal. And,
oh, yeah, that's a blockbuster signing for sure.
Signings, moves.
And there's
happening at any point of the year.
There's no question about that, but I still think that when you look at this team, I still think that if they think the value, because look, the Dodgers of 2019 and 2020, the whole sport has changed drastically because you have small market teams like the San Diego Padres signing Xander Bogaerts to 11-year deals. You have the Philadelphia Phillies signing Trey Turner to an 11-year deal. You have the Mets and Stephen Cohen spending more money than anyone in any sport. That's the most expensive roster ever put together. If I had $384 million to put together a roster, I would definitely do it better than Stephen Cohen. I'm not even that big of a fan of that Mets roster. I'll tell you that right here now. So
that's how I feel about the Dodger roster, at least on the offensive side of things. It's not a very sexy roster.
It is. I wouldn't say it's an incomplete roster. It is. Yeah. It's an incomplete roster.
Well, I mean, this. I guess I decided to randomly just go in on your lineup.
I'm here for it. I think there's some. I think what people aren't considering with this roster though is the down years that Muncy and Chris Taylor had.
They absolutely
last season.
Need to bounce back, and there's a likelihood they do bounce back, but still, you don't know what you're gonna. If 2022 was a flash in the pan with Trace Thompson, who, by the way, disappeared in September, there's a reason they didn't call up James Outman at any point. There's probably potentially a reason they didn't try to find a way to get more Miguel Vargas in the lineup. Maybe that's just me being incredibly pessimistic about it because I've been, we've all been burned by this team as fans over the last few seasons in different ways, shapes, and forms.
Yeah, hope is a hell of a drug, right?
Yes, sir.
I think you definitely are betting on a lot of things to happen. Can Gavin Lux continue to produce? But also think about this. If Miguel Vargas is the guy we all hope he is and is a potential Rookie of the Year candidate, you have Miguel Vargas and JD Martinez supplementing where Justin Turner was clogging up a lot in the middle of that lineup and not producing. So I really like this Dodgers lineup, but I know that this team isn't going to just allow this team to have these holes. I mean, when you sign Mookie Betts to a 12-year deal, you say, hey, we're going to compete for World Series titles. What does Mookie Betts say? One of the reasons why I signed with the Dodgers is because they're competitive every year, that they put together a team that has a chance to win the World Series every season. I'm sure when they shared their vision to Freddie Freeman, it was something similar. So you're not going to say, oh, we're going to punt on the 2023 season just because we think we might have a chance at Shohei Ohtani. You know how many teams want Shohei Ohtani? Every big team wants Shohei Ohtani. And I want to see Shohei in LA just as bad as anyone else. But the Dodgers, I think they're slow playing this on a very smart level because they have all their chips. They have their prospects. And the one thing they have with Trevor Bauer now, no matter what the outcome is they have clarity on it. They know exactly what they're up against from a CBT standpoint, from a roster construction standpoint. And we know that where Andrew Friedman, they're going to want to, whatever decision they make with the Trevor Bauer, they're going to want to change the narrative heading into the pitchers and catchers reporting. You really think that they're going to say, okay, we're going to release Trevor Bauer. He's going to sign with another team. They know how the fan base is going to react, only just to put this same roster on there. That's not what the Dodgers are going to do. They're going to want to do something to make this fan base get excited heading into spring training and this team. Because look, let's be honest. When you win 111 games, Clint, it just becomes so robotic and every day, and people like that wins just, they roll out of bed and get a win, but it's not the case.
I don't want to win 111 games ever again.
Do you see ESPN's projection?
Yeah, let's get into that. So to button up the Bauer thing, we're going to talk more about it this week because they're going to eventually make a decision. You got something?
Super quick, another super chat.
Woo!
Call me M4. Once again, thank you.
Thank you.
For another super chat, $2 super chat. He said, you guys have a good day now. Good talk. Thanks for that, man.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You.
That's what's in.
Oh, there's another one.
There's another one.
There's another one. There's so many. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it.
Super
another.
chat.
Call me 4 again. Call me M4 again. $5. If you're thinking pure baseball, you keep him and don't let him go to another team. Good discussion. That's what's nice here. Good night, guys.
Sweet. Thank you much.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
I don't. Do we just leave this? We walk away from it, right? Because again, it's so much more. Other athletes in the past have faced similar, worse whatever lesser accusations, and have been brought back to play with their team and become cult legends, still with their team. I think the biggest difference now from a bygone era is that this is the era of social media and reaction, and everybody has a voice, even if it doesn't, like I said earlier, your voice doesn't matter to the club that much. Your opinion doesn't matter to the team. Our opinion, my opinion, does not matter to the team. They're still going to see it. We're all still going to see it. We're all still going to formulate opinions based on people tweeting or Instagramming, and I guess more so tweeting or Redditing certain things or whatever. So that's what makes like now different versus 2004 or something, is that there's a voice that's out there and it's going to be constant and people won't stop talking about it. But I'm sure, literally, I am sure, I am positive we'll have more conversation about that this week, or this whole thing this week about the decision being made. I don't know if this one's worse or better than Bronze from back in the day, but
I was going to say, shout out LeBron.
Shout out LeBron. Let's go.
And Jim Gray.
But yeah, you talked about the power rankings. ESPN using the magic power of Steamer, which is Fangraphs. They have Dodgers as the 9th ranked team on the power rankings. What were your initial reactions to that, Chief?
I'm fine with that. I think as long as they're in the mix in this day and age of Major League Baseball, you can go from 9 to 1 very quickly. Just ask the Padres last year. Just ask the Philadelphia Phillies. You really want that ticket to the dance, and you want to have some flexibility to improve your roster and address your needs as the season progresses. So I like that underdog, that chip on your shoulder. Hey, Dodgers, you got to go out there and prove something. 90 wins. 90 wins. I mean, that's pretty much the Dodgers like in July these days. You know what I mean? Like 90 wins.
That would be the lowest total since 2012, which shows you how far this club. They won 80. This club has come 86 wins in 2012. If they get to 90, it's funny. I was looking at some of the numbers and looking back at 2018 and how bad we all felt that team was, and they still just rolled out of bed and won 93 games.
Oh, that 2018 team?
Yeah.
So I love that team.
So dumb. But
92, 71, I think.
They the rankings again at 9, and I agree. What's his name? Some Bradford Doolittle, I think it is, was the one who penned up this ESPN. Yeah, Bradford Doolittle penned it up. I enjoyed it. It's a good read. Check it out if you have the ESPN. But one of the things I do like is that he defends the Dodgers, and he's kind of surprised to see him that this low. Is because one, Steamer isn't apparently as high on Syndergaard and JD Martinez, where those are two dudes I'm actually pretty high on coming to LA, because one, we know what the Dodgers do with pitching. They magically fix everybody, which is funny as we come out of a Bauer segment where we're saying, oh, maybe he can't pitch it. Anyway, Syndergaard is going to be good for Noah over here. He's going to be good for the Dodgers in Dodger blue, because we got Mark Pryor, we got Connor McGinnis, we got the other guy who I always say his name first, but then now I just forget his name. No, they got the magic pitching factory here in LA, but no, not Michael Grove in this situation. Thank you. And with JD Martinez, I don't know why people are so low on him when, he's due to hit 43 doubles last year. Yeah, the bombs are down, but the OPS is still good.
Yeah, I think with JD Martinez, the isolated power is down, and that's kind of the main metric they use to evaluate designated hitters these days. Hit 16 home runs last season. But if you look at 2021, hit, I think, 21 home runs, still made the All-Star team the last 2 seasons. Projection-wise, yeah, you can see why they're down on him a little bit, but I think he's really out to prove he's still one of the best hitters in the league. I mean, he's had a 147 WRC plus in the last 8 seasons combined. That's one of the best in baseball during that stretch. So he's been consistent throughout his career, and I think that he's ready for that change of scenery, and I think that he's out to prove that, hey, he still has a lot left in the tank. So I'm definitely high on just dingers. It's really more like just doubles at this point of his career with the 43 doubles, but that was still tied for 4th highest in all of Major League Baseball. But yeah, I mean, if you compare his numbers to Justin Turner's, I'm more focused on what can can he do in the postseason with that 987 postseason OPS, because he puts together a real professional at bat, and I think that he's at the Dodgers in a great stage of his career, reuniting with Mookie Betts. I think Freddie Freeman. I mean, think about having Rob Van Scoyoc. I mean, the guy that totally helped revamp his swing and really change the trajectory of his career. But just think of that clubhouse with Freeman and JD Martinez talking hitting. I mean, that is going to trickle down to the rest of the guys.
And you have the kids coming up at the right time. One of the things that this exercise on ESPN and way too early power rankings, let's be real, one of the things it doesn't take into consideration is what's James Outman really going to do? What is Miguel Vargas, who again, he's going to be the man in 2023, whether or not he could live up to that or not. Is he going to be a 2020 Gavin Lux, or is he going to be 2016 Corey Seager? You don't know. We don't know. I'm very excited to see what this guy can do, because we've been talking about him a whole lot over the last calendar year, but we didn't get a chance to see him. He was teased, and then we didn't get a chance to actually see him do anything during the season. But it doesn't quantify for those type of moves what Michael Grove might do, or Pepio, or if we're going to see some Gavin Stone, if it is going to be Stoner season, because that's the dude who was really kind of the sneaky best dude in the farm system last year. Minor league pitcher of the year, coming out of AA, AAA. Did he make it up AAA? He did, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
and Gavin Stone coming soon.
Yeah.
Going to be on the show at some point in the next few weeks.
You just spoiled it.
Oh, it was a little promo.
Don't tell him about Max Muncy.
Okay. Okay. Or Lux.
Yeah,
okay.
or Lux. Yeah.
No.
Oh crap! Well, guys, wait, what?
So but Clint though,
nothing.
To your point,
okay.
to your point, Mr. Pasillas.
Yes.
The Dodgers though,
name.
they're also built to win regular season games. No one knows how to win regular season games quite like the Los Angeles
His team
Dodgers.
could roll out of bed and win 99 somehow.
Yeah, and when you talk about game planning, when you talk about
just don't win 100 or more. That's all I want.
wow,
I want them to win 87 for you. That's what you want. We win 87 games. Chip confirmed.
But I'm still going to be. I said that, but I will still.
It's gonna be
every loss will
frustrating,
burn.
dude. It's
yeah,
gonna be,
I don't know if I can live through an 87-win season.
Dodger fans need that. Most of these kids these
As
days
we
haven't
get
been
closer to
kicked
the
in the
season,
dick.
I want 112.
Respectfully.
Oh, kick the. That's a good point,
Think
though.
of how bad this team was in 10 and 11. Like, we watched that team. You watched the 2005 team. It was trash. Absolute trash. Trash.
You got to lose before you can win, right? You got to learn how to lose before you can learn how to win. But yeah, I mean, I'm fine with the Dodgers being there. Look, hey, at least the San Francisco Giants are not going to be as good as we all thought they might have been with the Carlos Correa signing. So I still think the Dodgers, they're going to roll out of bed and be in the postseason no matter what. Whether they win the division, which I still feel they're going to do. I mean, the Padres haven't won the division since 2006. Cody wasn't even born yet. So I think it's going to be.
That's factual.
That
is factual. I was 2006. Dude, I was like not even an idea.
You even a conversation.
He was negative 15.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Negative 15.
Oh,
Wow.
he's not that young. Everybody has a gag.
I like it.
Almost 21.
That's the joke.
That's what's in.
Yeah, that's what's in. You got some supporters in here. Ray Barrios says tainted, but 2020 ring still counts.
2020 ring is a legitimate ring. It's just I want more.
I can see him reading it.
I want more. Okay, I want more. Never satisfied.
That's Doug's deepest, darkest
More.
secret.
More.
Give us more ring. We want 8. 8's an even number. Shekador says legit, just like 81. Luis says, I see you, Louis. Says, hey, do the thing, or do the thing with the thing. I agree. That's a good point. V&V podcast, thanks for hanging out. Says this Dodgers roster is awful. I think it's a holy roster. See, it's holy.
It's holy.
Yeah.
It's like some Swiss cheese.
Did you say sex with Swiss cheese?
It's like SC's defense did against Tulane.
Oh, here we go. This Doug wants to open a can of worms. That's what he wants to do. Yeah, at least we competed in something that people know.
So. Hey, we lost a pit in the
Tony the Tiger
cereal bowl.
Roach says 69 games. Chip confirmed. We appreciate that as always. Appreciate you, Roach. Irving says the Dodgers will win 95 games in the 2023 regular season, but do they win a World Series?
Hey, we won the World Series, and when we won 43 games in 2020, won the World Series. We absolutely can win it with 87 wins.
Big Blue 78. Any news on Reynolds trade rumors? You got anything to update them on?
Well, the latest is that John Morosi listed the Dodgers as one of the top 3 teams where he could land, which was a lot of nothing, and the prospect capital is going to be very expensive. I think the Dodgers will wait till closer into the season to address that need, but hey, make no mistake about it, he'd be a fantastic fit. Like I said, if the Dodgers traded for him, it would be a wrap. It'd be Reynolds' wrap. The Dodgers would have the best roster, the best lineup. I'm telling you, he would. So the switch hitter, I love the idea.
I would rather see
Brian Reynolds.
Yeah, I'd rather see that. Ryan Reynolds?
I said Brian, B-R-Y.
Where's he at on your list? He's an A, B, or C actor. No. Fuck, I forgot.
Under 3 more years of team control.
Yeah, I would rather see that. Like if people are talking about an improving quote, improving at the shortstop position or in the outfield. Hell yeah, Brian Reynolds would be the move because there aren't any other shortstops left. Maybe not. I don't know. We don't know where Carlos Correa is apparently going to end up. So, segue MLB news. Let's quickly get into it. More free agents off the board. Noah's Angels signed Brandon Drury. So check that out. HalosToday.com. Corey Kluber to the Red Sox. Hey, Sox, man, they got an incredible rotation going, for like 2016.
Dodgers retirement home.
They got Chris Sale, Corey Kluber, other human American names. Rich Hill goes to the Pirates. My boy Dick Mountain's going to pitch in his age 43 season. Year 68 in the league, so that's pretty cool. Nate Eovaldi goes to Texas, does not come back home to the Dodgers. Hey, watch out, man. Them Rangers, they're looking like to spend a lot of money for that.
I'm happy
that
about it
third place finish.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, who
right?
finishes better, Angels or the Rangers?
Easily the Rangers.
You gonna let him get away with that?
Easily the Rangers. Are you kidding me? I'm going to watch the Angels as closely as the Dodgers, hoping for their demise, so they have to trade Ohtani. You cannot let Ohtani get away for a compensation pick. Only the Angels could let something like that happen.
They messed up hard by not trading him last winter. Or
Show
last
me the Shohei.
deadline. Yeah. But the biggest news, Carlos Correa is still technically a free agent because the Mets didn't like the medicals. Apparently the Giants tried to re-engage, and Farhan is like, they don't want anything to do with us.
Yeah.
The Mets are trying to figure it out. Boris, Steve Cohen, they're trying to figure out something to make that contract work. Most likely what they're working on right now is, injecting some language into the contract that says like, hey, if his ankle goes to shit, we get some money relief back. Thanks, Chief. I don't know how they do that in more legalese, but that's what they're trying to do. I don't think he is really trying to go elsewhere, but people love having fun with the idea of Carlos Correa as a Dodger because might as well. Bauer's going to be a Dodger. Hey, let's make Carlos Correa a Dodger. Now you're going to have some real fun. Can the Dodgers sneak in? Give us the yes, give us the no, give us the why.
I would say no. I mean, I think right now it's a game of operation. You have Stephen Cohen going on the game of operation. Are we even sure he has a right leg? I mean, has anyone spotted him walking around with that? But no, I don't think that it is. And I think we saw Scott Boras restructure the framework of JD Martinez's contract a few years back. We know that he wants to be a Met. I think that's the big thing. I think both sides want to make that deal work. And that's why I think at the end of the day, he will be in New York. Like I said, even before any news came out, a 13-year deal, a 12-year deal for Carlos Correa. You're going to be pushing him to first in a wheelchair at some point in the duration of that contract. But I think it makes sense for the Mets because the Mets want to win now. If they can get 1 or 2 World Series titles or even a World Series appearance in 5 or 6 years of Carlos Correa at third base and he's having those big postseason moments, that's you almost look at it, Clint, as deferred money.
Yeah.
Some of these deals, and yeah, the Correa time.
Give him that Bobby Bonilla contract. $5 million for the next 78 decades. Let's go.
The Bonilla deal. Yeah, but will the Dodgers go in there? Look, if there was a
New
team,
York Carlos Correa, they're changing the name of the team. Go ahead, my bad.
I'm saying if there was a path to Carlos Correa and the Dodgers, this would be that path, and they catch rebounds.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, but the Dodgers feel like the absolute only team that would sneak in there and offer like 2 and 100.
Yeah. Or yeah, no, I mean with the medical, it'll probably be the league minimum 1 year. No, but I think that's the thing. If they could that's why I think the Dodgers are in a position where I don't think they love Carlos Correa that much. I really don't think they do as a player.
Well, did you hear the clubhouse or the fan base wouldn't like it?
The fan base wouldn't like it.
The Dodgers love listening to the fans.
Do the Dodgers make their own decisions about anything these days?
No.
It's the fans, it's the players.
No, they go check our polls on Twitter. That's what they do. Julio,
hashtag DN polls.
Hashtag DN polls. Make sure you subscribe to that hashtag. Julio Diaz says, Happy New Year, 2023 Dodgers fans. Happy New Year. Julio Victor Fuentes says Carlos Correa.
You want him?
I mean, Correa.
Carlos Correa.
Carlos Correa. There it is.
Correa.
Yeah, no, he's going to go to the KBO.
The KBO?
Yeah.
It's better than the Savannah Bananas, I guess.
Hey, whoa, you take
or your softball team.
Take that. Yeah, I don't want him on myself. No, I do need a shortstop.
What's your team's name?
I already got the bad ankle. We're Netflix and chill, bro.
Oh, that's right. Netflix and chill.
Hell
That's
yeah.
what's
This
up.
is like year 57 of Netflix and chill. Let's go. Boomer Assassin says Ryan Reynolds to the Dodgers, $20 million per picture.
I love it.
Because, he's the actor, man.
Hey, man. My mom loves Ryan Reynolds. It's her guy.
Deadpool.
But
She got a poster of him up in her bedroom.
she probably does,
What do you got? What do you got, Cody?
I
we're
just
saying
said
words.
I said Deadpool.
Oh, thank
And
you.
Rexit.
Here it says we got Will W says Magic won't have a cheater.
Who? What now?
Will W says Magic won't have a cheater. Yeah, I think at this point we've talked about that ad nauseum.
ain't gonna be here.
Like I said, the narrative would be interesting though. Like let's just picture this little thought exercise. He goes to the Giants, like I predicted.
One important thing. Dave Luna says, I'm tired of Carlos Correa talk. Same. I thought it was done. But then the Giants said, and now the Mets are like,
and he keep bringing me back.
They keep bringing me back in.
Yeah.
Anyways, you were saying?
What I was saying is, if you want to paint the picture as, imagine that though, if you're Carlos Correa and the deal falls through with the Mets, it falls through with the Giants and the Dodgers. He's like, I want to stick it to the Mets. I want to stick it to the Giants. I'll sign with the Dodgers and help them win. But here will end any Carlos Correa hope for you. You ready? The reason why there's zero chance that he'll end up on the Dodgers, no matter what, is because the Minnesota Twins, they know his medicals better than anyone out there. He played for the Twins for 1 year, and the Twins were still willing to offer him a 10-year deal at almost $300 million. So I think at the very least, they can fall back and sign with for the Twins for almost $300 million.
I don't know. It kind of feels like they sort of have pulled those contract offers back.
I think they have, but I mean, even if it's a 6-year, a 7-year, the Dodgers won't go as high as the Twins would go. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, there's just no
But
scenario.
wouldn't you play for $50 million a year?
You're
Going over that CBT either way. Might as well just to the moon,
just
baby.
we got to get our boy Trace Howard season in here, guys.
I was gonna say right on brand. Trace Hayward season 2022, $1.99 super chat. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Hayward will hit 15 to 20 home runs.
I kind of feel like I'm the only guy. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. I kind of feel like I'm the only guy who's quasi high-ish on Jason Hayward. I don't know if it's because we met him.
I was about to say.
But I mean, when I say quasi high-ish, it's because like my expectations are just rock bottom for him. So like quasi high-ish are him hitting, what like Cody hit last year. Not that one, but Bellinger.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? He was cool with me at Dodger Stadium, so I think he gets comeback player of the year and MVP votes.
He made fun of your Jim Beam sweater.
He made fun of my ugly Christmas sweater. And he's saying that was why I wasn't hitting the ball hard. I got the little hitting instruction, but Hayward.
You hit the ball hardest of anybody there. Those busted ass squish balls. This guy's roided out of his gourd.
The exit velo, bro.
That's how he's able to.
It was
bust
so red. It was like a
that.
murder scene. My baseball savant page looks like a murder scene. It's crazy.
Through the roof. Perfect timing here, right here too, because 757 Flipper says hit the like button for DMAX. Make sure you guys mash that like
Thanks,
button,
Flipper.
and subscribe to us on YouTube while you're here. If you're cool with us, I'd appreciate.
Thanks for rocking with us.
Bunch.
That's what's in.
I'd love you if you did it. But anyways, enough Carlos Correa talk. Quickly, the best of what's left on the free agents. We got to get through fake. What do they call those? Resolutions. I don't know if we're calling them fake or real, whatever they are. Imagining resolutions. By the way, we had the article done by the incomparable Noah Camrus on our DodgersNation.com. Check it out if you haven't yet. Best shortstop options left is, I think this is still the same list. We got Elvis Andrus, we got Alcides Escobar, we got Didi Gregorius, Andrelton Simmons, and Jose Iglesias. We talked a little bit about it a couple weeks ago. Iglesias is the one guy who's kind of a hitter on there. Simmons is probably the best defender on there, but any of these guys, tickle your fancy in any way over Gavin Lux?
They really don't. I've always liked Elvis Andrus as a player. If you looked at defensively, he's one of the better defensive shortstops.
You want Elvis to enter the building?
I was thinking of some way to work it in there, but
I got you, fam.
Sugar, blah, blah, blah. I mean, he had a really nice finish with the White Sox, had a 116 OPS plus over his last 43 games. But I think if you're going to go that route at the bargain bin version of the shortstop, I think you do just give Gavin Lux the opportunity to play the position, and then you see if you can play the trade market and you see if a name like Willie Adames becomes available during the season. I think none of those guys are going to move the needle offensively. I think defensively, they're absolutely more trustworthy than a Gavin Lux potentially could be. But I think Gavin Lux is going to surprise some folks with his range, with his ability to take over the position if he's truly given the opportunity. I still have my doubts that I mean, I think it's probably 85% he'll be the opening day shortstop. But I still think if a deal becomes available at the right price, maybe the Dodgers realize the value of having a more experienced shortstop and just not passing that torch just yet. But I also think too, Miguel Vargas. You saw him at second, at third base. I think you want to work things around Max Muncy. I think you'll see more Chris Taylor in the infield. But no, Elvis Andrews not gonna have it for me.
Yeah, I'm not very high on any of those guys. Plus, I like what you were kind of alluding to, or what you said earlier. You can, in theory, run this team, this at least offensive roster out as it is right now, and for the first few months, see what you're going to get. See if Luxy can hit lefties better, because that's going to be a big concern. Because I don't like the idea of platooning at shortstop. They've kind of done it in the past. It's been a long time, but. You want to see what Lux can do at the position offensively and defensively, and you have the ability to still make trades in season, not just in July either. So they could figure something out. They're gonna have some sort of conversations going with the Brewers and Willie Adames and whoever else is available out there. Really, I mean, he's kind of be the guy, or you find a way to, I guess mask any potential weaknesses at shortstop, and hey, let's go get Rafi Devers or give me Jose Ramirez. Go Glove.
Oh,
go
now
Glove.
You're speaking my language.
Go Glove.
Freddie. Freeman.
Outfield. So right here, his lordship Paul Morales says, any news on Clutch Kutch coming to L.A.? There haven't been any updates on the McCutchen camp for a while. Of course, he's kind of the best of what's left on the free agent market in terms of outfield. You got McCutchen, A.J. Pollock, and again, I'm going to say it, no, I don't want A.J. Pollock back. Tyler Naquin, Jerks, and Profar, no. Jake Marisnik. There are other like lower tier names like damn, I was going to be a dick and say Kevin Pillar, bro. But no, we love Kevin. Nice, he's a nice boy.
Shout out Kevin.
Albert Almora, and then Adam Duvall. He essentially was the starting center fielder for the championship Bravos.
Yeah,
Duvall. It's not the ideal
can provide
situation.
some pop, no question about it. You mentioned McCutchen. Still, I mean, the power's declined. Hit 17 home runs last year. Doesn't chase, but he's a guy that is not going to be the solution for the Dodgers in the outfield. So, yeah, none of those names are really going to excite or wow anyone out there. But, yeah, I mean, they signed Duggar, and you saw some of these names that they've signed. I think what that really points to is how much do they trust some of these younger prospects. I think that more is a contingency plan, a little insurance for this team. But I don't see them going out there making any of those signings. I truly don't. I think, like we've mentioned, I think the trade route really is the way to go, because there are some top prospects. Looking at you, Michael Busch, who we've heard can rake, and everyone knows that Michael Busch has that hit tool. And there's been a lot of, seems like we've heard about him for so many years. But if he's such a great hitter, why isn't he on the Dodgers bench? Why isn't they giving him more opportunities? And people say his best position is at first base. The last time I checked, who's at first base?
Freddie.
So I think that there are some prospects that you can get value from. And I think for the Dodgers, too, do you really want to start the season and have the rest of the league say, oh, they really desperately need a short? So they're going to have all the leverage in the world. So maybe a preseason trade in February possibly makes more sense for the Dodgers if they really want to go out there and make some moves. And like I said, one way to get your fan base to forget about maybe releasing a Trevor Bauer is going out there making a blockbuster trade. And I wouldn't put that past the Dodgers and Andrew Friedman.
Yeah, it's like we're getting a divorce, but here's a present.
Exactly.
That's how you fix it.
That's why my parents did it.
Oh yeah.
They gave me a Super Nintendo.
The more you know.
Just like, it's all good. Yeah.
Let's dive into that real quick. Let's explore that. Now, I like Duvall. I like McCutchen. I just don't like him as Dodgers as much. I would rather see what my boy Hayward can do, because he's our best friend now. Best friend in the whole wide world. Pitching side, Michael Wacha, Wade Miley. They're not going to sign any more pitchers. You got something over there. We got Cody Cam.
We got 2 super chats. Trace Hayward season back at it again. $1.99 for Slug McCain. He said Slug McCain.
Slug McCain.
We saw
you guys
Doug
been hanging
at
around me too much.
Do we? You haven't put out any video with that yet?
No, we're working on it. We're working on it.
We're getting a little mic'd up.
Mic'd
Doug
up.
McCain.
And you're gonna be it too.
I sent I sent you all the footage I had on my phone as well, right?
I don't think so.
Okay, we got some great stuff. I got Gary not caring about the rules. He's hitting in the cage with no helmet.
Oh,
Safety first, Mr. Lee.
Safety is an option.
come on. Anyways, another super
the
chat.
Tesla
Diane
drivers
Schroeder, 1999. She says, "Sorry, I'm late. Happy New Year."
Diane, I saw Diane popped in the stream earlier, and she said, "I thought you guys were done with live streams." No, we were just done with last year. We took
She gave it.
we took 1 week off.
Thanks for the super chat. She hasn't super
Appreciate
chatted us since last year. So thanks, Diane.
Relax. You need to relax.
What a real piece of work this guy is.
Godmother of
Get
Dodgers
a load of
Nation.
this guy.
Hepatitis See you later says Dodgers will lose to the Diamondbacks in the NLDS. You know what's more funny? The most funny about that? The Diamondbacks being in the NLDS playoffs.
Wow.
Well, I don't know. They signed Evan Longoria. Oof, big time.
Wow.
He said he really wanted to win a championship, so he signed with the Diamondbacks.
Yikes. Hey,
Speaking of Dodgers
Luis Gonzalez
resolutions,
didn't walk through that door.
speaking of Dodgers resolutions, I know this guy's got a bunch written down. I'm gonna pull up the roster here, so I could just make up BS along the way. But we're gonna let the whole gang play on this one.
All
This is
right.
gonna be a real funny camera though, because either Noah, you're gonna have to get shorter, or Cody,
Yes.
you're gonna have to
We'll
get taller.
work with the camera guys.
Yeah. You got to do.
I'm about to get Noah.
Oh yeah, this is great. This is a great shot.
So let's do
Anyway,
it. New Year's resolutions.
what do you got?
An
Yeah.
8K. My first one.
Hold on, Nando390 says, "I love your live streams more than I love my wife."
Nando.
What is
Appreciate
happening in
that.
the stream
I
with
appreciate
I love
Nando,
the stream.
Nando, and then Roach? Was Roach earlier that said something about like he's borderline like divorcing somebody or something? I don't know. Anyways, guys, I hope everybody
I like when
is
Jamie
happy.
Vegas said that was a nice gift, talking about the Super Nintendo.
Oh yeah, that's a good.
Yeah,
gift.
it was a guy.
It's quality
So
gift.
I'll start things off. So my
no Sega
first
Genesis.
No Sega Genesis. I had them both actually.
Wow, rich kid.
So my first New Year's resolution is to rediscover 2021 Max Muncy and Chris Taylor. Both had down years in 2022. Both struggled. Max Muncy in 2021 was one of the best Dodgers on the team. He led the team with a 139 WRC plus, 36 bombs, made the All-Star team. And then we know what happened, the torn UCL, and he just wasn't the same guy to start the year in 2022. He had a sub 600 OPS for 3 of the first 4 months. And then what happened? He did a little James Harden step back, a little Nolan Arenado step back in his swing with his plant leg, really unlocked some things for Max Muncy. So if he can return to form and be that guy who a lot of the projections really like Max Muncy for next season, then Chris Taylor, a guy, like I said, swing and miss Chris last season, had a strikeout rate at almost 36%. But in 2021, contract year Chris, we need that guy back.
The walk-off king.
Walk-off Taylor, we need that guy back. So I want to get 2021 Max Muncy and Chris Taylor back. And I want to see the Chris Army knife. I want to see some more positional versatility. I want to see some more infield from Chris Taylor and getting him back to being that guy that can contribute in all areas, because that could really help take this roster to a whole nother level. Because if we're looking at this roster and on paper you see Chris Taylor and Max Muncy right now, you're not that excited because you're thinking about the year they had in 2022. So that is my first New Year's resolution. And let me kick it to you, Cody.
Noah, that's me, because I'm gonna make sure I steal any potential of this guy from Noah. My resolution is gonna be for Noah Syndergaard to get back to 2016 Noah Syndergaard. Just be Thor, you know. Just be the guy you were. Listen to everything Mark Pryor and Connor McGinnis and the other guy whose name I don't remember right now tell you to do, and then you do it, and then you do it well, and then you be a good baseball player, pitcher, man.
Swagger jacked him.
Hell yeah, I know what's in. But
He's in shambles right now. Look at Noah's in
I know
shambles.
Noah's
That was not very nice. That's all I'm going to say. That was not very nice. That was not very nice.
Well, so really,
Wait, don't be a Thor loser.
really,
Oh,
you gotta
jeez.
blame. Really, gotta
We're
blame
back, baby. We're
the
back.
Dodgers website, because I went to Dodgers.com, not a sponsor, and his face popped up on the screen. And he looked real ready. You know, he's ready to go. He's feeling it. Anyways.
Let's see
Who
what
are you
got.
throwing to? What do you got over there? Who are you throwing to, Douglas?
Well, first of all, let us know down below in the comment section what are your New Year's resolutions. Can be for a player, can be for this organization, anything Dodgers
Dave
related.
Roberts.
Dave Roberts. Oh yeah. By the way, after
You know, I saw a few fire Gavin Lux comments earlier.
Wow.
That's so good. Those people
so
who know us.
unnecessary.
Best friend Gavin.
Gavin
We love
Lux, man. So, Cody, what is your first Dodgers New Year's resolution?
My first, you already said Muncy, but Muncy is also one of the. But Muncy is like I have a specific I think he's gonna. Well, I'm not gonna spoil what it is, but.
him. The whole point.
When are you gonna do it after the show?
Fine. I guess yeah. I mean, I said Muncy's gonna. I said Muncy's gonna hit 40 home runs.
40 bombs.
Oh, he's finally gonna
Okay.
get past that 35 homer.
35. I say 40.
Let's go.
I was gonna say 45, but I don't know.
45 dingers
40.
for Mash Muncy. Okay.
40. I think 40.
There you go.
My resolution is going to be a healthy Dustin May. I feel like our rotation really needs that health. As of right now, there's 4 injury-prone guys between Kershaw, May, Gonsolin, and now my guy Noah Syndergaard. I think Dustin May is a real X factor, and if he can be healthy, he can be a real number 2 guy afterwards.
Ooh, a number 2.
Number
Wow.
2 guy,
Number
because he's
2.
the shit. LA on YouTube says Dustin May to go off. So you got
Dude.
somebody in agreement.
Yeah, I mean, you jacked his wagger and he jacked mine. My next one was get Dustin May to pitch like a frontline starter. Dustin May.
I mean, he just still goes into it.
So I'm going to change it up. My resolution is for Dustin May to make the 2023 All-Star team. Tony Gonsolin had his big breakout year in 2022. Dustin May, when he came back against the Marlins, he was looking electric. Had those 9 strikeouts and 5 innings of work. His stuff's so dirty, I take a shower right after I watch him pitch because he's filthy. And last year, what
That
really
sounds like a medical condition.
I mean, last year it was the walks and it was the command. What I always say, if you want to be the man, you have to have the command. And I think if Dustin May can shore up that command, he can grow into being that frontline starter. If he does that, that changes the complexion of the entire rotation. So I still did go into it. So
My resolution for Dustin May is to pitch at least one game with your cowboy hat on.
Yes.
I reckon that'd be a hoot and a holler.
that would be that'd be great.
I'll tell you
Dustin
what.
Mania, baby.
Am I supposed to do one?
Yeah.
You know what? My resolution for Clayton Kershaw is to only spend one stint on the injured list this year. Just one nice 15-day break, and then go win that Cy Young award. Thank you, Cody. You got another one? Give me something.
Cy Young. And then he's probably gonna be gone.
Yeah,
to be honest, probably gonna be gone afterwards. But
Urias.
he's saying, I win the Cy Young. I ain't gonna be here
Future
afterwards.
Ranger.
I ain't gonna be here. But I say Cy Young for not Noah.
It's the Cy Young caliber.
Yeah, Cy Young
Yeah,
caliber.
yeah.
But I would say
Young
Julio
up and
Urias,
comer.
Cy Young.
Well, if I got the Noah Syndergaard one, I would have said he throws 100 miles per hour this year. But since you took Noah Syndergaard, I'm going to say Will Smith makes his first All-Star team. He got snubbed last year. This year, he'll get his respect.
All right.
Put some respect on his name.
We got this.
Keep Will Smith's name out of your mouth.
Keep my Will
I like it.
Smith. That's good. That's good. Give yourself a man. Thank you.
Topical.
yourself a
Topical.
What else you got? Oh
For-
wait, let's find a couple
Let's- yeah,
on
let's do
here.
that.
Jenny Vegas says New Year's resolution is to go to a Dodgers Giants game at Dodger Stadium. Highly recommended. It's a good time.
Or Dodger Stadium North, which is Oracle Park.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody wants to go there. I hear it's a little cold.
And their attendance is down. We got to help them out. My next one is look, everyone thinks that Miguel Vargas looks like Benny the Jet Rodriguez from The Sandlot. I want to see him in another movie called Rookie of the Year. And I want to see Miguel Vargas be the 19th Dodger to win Rookie of the Year. We know the Dodgers have had more Rookie of the Years than anyone in any franchise. So I want to see him carry on that tradition. I think he's going to get a great runway. I think the Dodgers have shown incredible belief in him. And this is the moment that I knew that Miguel Vargas was special. After he gets that hit against the Giants, and he just flat out steals third base, and the cameraman isn't even ready. They just cut to him, and he's headfirst sliding to third base. They asked him after the game about that steal, and he said, I felt incredible. I didn't think anyone could stop me. No one can stop you from winning Rookie of the Year, Miguel. So I got Miguel Vargas winning the Rookie of the Year.
I like it. I'm game with that. Also, it looks like there's commotion. Is there commotion? Okay, there was commotion. I got a resolution for my boy who threw me a baseball one time, Danny Hudson. Dodgers closer 2023.
Ooh.
He's gonna close
That's
down.
spicy.
He's gonna close down. I don't know if it's still his uniform number. He's gonna close down 41 games for these Los Angeles Dodgers in 2023. Because why not? I'm gonna put numbers on it so I could be wrong. But he's gonna be the guy. Danny, become the Dodgers closer in 2023. Just make it happen.
I
Thanks.
love that pick. I mean, the fact that it wasn't an arm injury, it's a knee injury that he's coming off of. I think he's going to be fresh. The strikeout numbers were great. Yeah, I love that. All right, next up, Mr. Noah.
I'm going to go Gavin Lux, prove everybody wrong, have a mean year at shortstop, defensively be good, but offensively, I want him to hover around 300. All right, not hit 300, but hover around it, 290 area. Let's just like he did earlier in the year before he got hurt and came back and wasn't as good.
Get closer to that mic next time.
Hover around 300, Gavin Lux.
Okay.
Gavin Lux, Truther. Gavin Lux, Truther, stand up.
MVP, he just promised.
I like it. I like it.
Well, are we doing resolutions? Is it kind of? I guess it's predictions, right?
I mean, whatever you want.
More resolutions. I'm gonna go kind of bold on this one. Mookie's face of the franchise, so kind of continue on with the 40 trend. I think he's gonna join the 40-40 club.
Ooh,
Jay-Z.
40-40 club.
40
Jay-Z.
40 club.
Wait, you think Mookie's gonna steal 40 bay? Oh,
I know. Oh wait, what's the highest he's gotten? Doug would probably know.
I mean, it's like in the
30s probably.
yeah, basically, yeah.
but he's
That's
not
like
a
what,
base
probably
stealer.
like peak
it messes
years, about
it messes
20.
up his bowling form. So
Well,
you know.
I'm gonna say that's why I'm saying
But
I'm
if
going
there was,
bold.
I mean,
40-40.
with the big, I mean, there are encouraging
go
stolen
40,
bases next
300.
season. So, yeah, they are encouraging stolen bases next season. Got the bigger bases.
This
and
is true. Bigger bases. You got the rule changes with pitchers and how many times you could throw over there, plus the pitch clock.
But yeah,
It
his
actually might not
career
be
high
bad.
is 30. Looking up right now, 30 in 2018. So 10 more than his career high. He did set his career high in home runs last season. So you never know, Cody.
40,
I like
40.
that pick. 40-40
40.
club. You just like saying it, don't you?
40-40 club.
Why
Yeah,
didn't Matt Kemp go 40-40, man? Come on now. That kept an MVP. So
Tough time.
my next one for the Dodgers, a resolution is stop relying on injured players to come back at the end of the season. If you got guys that go down during the year, don't bank on them coming back, because we saw that bite them last season with Blake Trinan, with Dustin May even not contributing like they had hoped. Even Tony Gonsolin, the way he didn't contribute like they had hoped in the NLDS. So I want to see if the Dodgers have guys go down, address that need during the year, kind of like what they did by trading for Max Scherzer when they did, kind of like when they traded for Manny Machado when Corey Seager went down in 2018. So don't rely on the guys on the IL. If you got to address a need, do it during the year, because, look, you just never know how guys are going to respond and bounce back from injuries.
Yes, I was listening to everything you said.
That was a serious one for me. I just really don't want you guys to keep relying on these injured players. Like, come on.
Yeah, no, that's pretty damn reasonable. So my resolution is I'm going to rely on Walker Buehler to come back and then be the closer in the postseason.
I like that take. I like that.
I like hepatitis C later here, even though it's not quite a resolution. It's more in the prediction category, but whatever. We're just playing with it. Says Gavin Stone will have a Spencer Strider type emergence. Stoner can come up and, solidify that number 6 spot in the rotation.
Yeah. I
That
mean,
works.
Be great. We lost Belly. We need another Stoner, you know.
I got Jams Bellinger to smoke more while he'd smoke in Chicago all he wants. Ice Queen 7 says New Year's resolution, D-Max signs 20-year, $400 million with Dodgers Nation. You agree to the terms of that contract?
Show me the money. I'll give it all to Shohei. I'll give it all to Shohei. Shohei me the money.
It didn't. You ain't gonna get Shohei for $400 million.
Well, then we'll get Diane Schroeder. We'll get the rest. She'll pay the rest. Diane Schroeder.
Man, cold-blooded.
Diane Schroeder. Schroeder shoot.
You want to do another round of them, or are we hitting the wrap it up button? On the count of it's 6:20.
I got one more to go.
Let's do
one more.
All right, hold on.
Last one
one of you guys do one. Who's got something? Noah's got something.
I'll make something up. Let's go.
Jam that mic in his throat.
Let's go. Freddie Freeman wins the batting title. He should have won it last year. Jeff McNeil stole it, so Freddie Freeman's going to get it this year. He's going to hit 330.
Stop the steal.
Top,
What do you got?
Mine would don't stop the prospect hugging. If you need to make a trade, make a bold move. Be bold. Live this year like it's your last, because it could be the last year for Julio, it could be the last year for Kershaw, and really this championship window I don't think is as big as a lot of Dodger fans realize or want to accept.
You had something? Okay.
Oh, the last one I just remembered. I'm just going through the whole roster. I think they have to make at least one more move to get some outfield and infield depth. So that's my one more resolution just for Andrew Friedman. Let's make one more move because they're a little thin right now.
We'll give Friedman a little laundry list of
That's what's
No respect to Brandon Gomes, Dodgers general manager.
God, that's true. Wow. Next time we see him in the lobby,
respect.
that's
Yeah,
why we didn't get the interview.
I'm surprised you're not still there waiting in San Diego for him to come back. He said he was going to do the interview with you.
I'm going to
I'm
go
just
back
saying.
tonight.
But that's what we got today, guys. As we usually do, we ran long, but a lot of good a lot of good topics. The new year, new us, same us, whatever. But it's a good time. Hope you guys had some fun. Thanks for hanging out with us. Find us on the internet, DodgersNation.com. Go there, read there. That's a thing that makes us survive a whole lot, all of us. So if you read our stuff, we'd appreciate it. Subscribe to Blue Heaven. We're on Apple Podcasts. We are on Spotify, iHeartRadio, everywhere your podcasts are available for free. Appreciate it if you'd go there and subscribe on there and listen to all the cool things that we do there, which is a lot of things we do here on YouTube. So subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/DodgersNationTV. Hit the bell, leave a like, tell your grandmother. She will enjoy the channel too. Appreciate you guys for helping us get to 60,000 subscribers in 2022. So let's get to 400 billion in 2023. I am Real FRG on Twitter and Instagram. That guy is DMac_LA. On Twitter and Instagram. We are Dodgers Nation on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on... Are there other ones? Is there any other social media?
MySpace.
On MySpace. Check it out. Check us out.
Parler.
We'll put us in your top 10. Put us in your top 8. I'm a top 4 kind of gal anyways. Thanks for hanging with us. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you for all the super chats. We will see you later this week probably because, you know, the whole situation that's going to happen with the Bauer and all that. Anyways, goodbye.